Hello everyone, this is Vishakha and today we will be discussing about ASP application object, ASP session object, ASP server object and ASP error object. So first we will discuss about ASP application object. So now we are using a term here which is application. So what do you mean by an application? An application may consist of several ASP files that work together to achieve some specific task or some specific purpose. An active server page application is actually a collection of ASP files in a virtual directory and associated subdirectories. The application object is used to control and manage all the items that are available to all the users of ASP application. It is used to tie the files together and is used to store and access the variables from any page. For example, it could be database collection information. And if you will make any changes in one place, then that changes will automatically be reflected on all the pages. This information can be accessed from any of the page, and again I'm repeating, and if you will make any change in one place, then that change will be reflected in all the pages. So now first we will discuss about the collection of ASP application object. The first collection is content and the second is static object. So first we will discuss about content. The content collection contains all the items added to the application through the use of script. Here we need to remember one thing, that it contains all the items added to the application through the use of script but not through the use of object tag. And the second is static object. The static object contain all the object appended to the application with the help of HTML object tags. So first is through the use of script and the second is through the use of HTML object tag. Now we will discuss about the methods. The first method is content dot remove method. This method delete the specified item from the application object content collection. But what if we want to remove all the items from the collection? In that case we use content dot remove all. So there is only one difference between content dot remove and content dot remove all, is that content dot remove is used to delete a specific or specified item, and content dot remove all is used to delete all the items from the content collection. The third is lock method. Lock method prevent other users from modifying the variables in the application object. There is an individual user which retains the control of the application object until the application.unlock method is declared. How the application unlock method is declared? If the unlock method is not called explicitly, it means it will be called explicitly. But what if it is not called explicitly? In that case, IIS will unlock the logged application object when the script ends or time is out. The last is unlock. Unlock enable other users to modify the variables in the application object. If the application is locked, it prevent other user from modifying the variables, and if it is unlocked, then it enable other user to modify the variables. You can say both are quite opposite to each other. Now we will be discussing about the events. There are two events which are mentioned here. The first is application on end and the second is application on start. The application on end occurs when all the user sessions are over and when application has been ended. And application on start event occur before the first new session is created, or you can say when the first client request is being received. So now I have cleared it with the help of an example. What it says, you can see that we are running it on the server side because the script is mentioned. So I have created three application objects. First is test1, test2 and test3, and we have passed strings in that. In first it is first test, second test, and in third it is third test. Now we have applied a method here which is application dot content dot remove and passed some value which is test2. So what it will do, it will remove the test2 from here. Now we are using a loop which is for each next loop. In this loop, for each x in application.content response.write x and equal to and application.content x and break the line. So what will be the output? It will delete or remove the second test, and the output will be test1 equal to first test and test3 equal to third test. Now we will be discussing about ASP session object. The session object stores the information needed for a particular user session on the web server. It is actually created every time when the ASP page from the website or the web application is requested by a user who does not already have a session. It is used to store the information or change the settings for a user session. Basically what happens when you search or surf something on the internet, the web server don't know about the user because the HTTP address does not maintain any state, and you must have already studied that HTTP is a stateless protocol. It means it does not maintain any state for the client or the user. So this problem can be resolved by creating a unique cookie for each of the user. This cookie is sent to the user computer and it contains the information that is used to identify the user. This interface is known as session object. It is used to store the information about or change settings for a user session, as I mentioned earlier it as well. Variables stored in a session object hold the information about one single user and are available to all the pages in one application. The common information stored in session variable, it could be the name of the user, ID of the user, preferences of the user. It will create a new session object for each new user. So here you can see that for each new user, when a user will come, a new session object will be created and then it will be destroyed when the session will be expired. The server will create a new session object for each new user and destroy the session object when the session will be expired. When does a session start? A session starts when a new user requests an ASP file and the global.asa file includes a session on start procedure. A value is stored in session variable and a user requests an ASP file and the global.asa file use the object tag. So there are three terms, or you can say there are three situations in which a session is considered as start. First is a new user requests an ASP file and the global.asa file include a session on start procedure. Second is a value is being stored in the session variable, and third is a user request an ASP file and the global.asa file use the object tag to instantiate object with the session scope. When does a session end? When it is considered as it has been ended. A session ends if a user has not requested or refreshed a page in the application for a specified period, and by default the specified period time is 20 minutes. It means a session expires after 20 minutes if the user has not requested or refreshed a page in the application. So by default it will be expired in 20 minutes. So now we will be discussing about collections. First is content. It contains all the items added to the session through a script command. And the static object, again it is kind of same, which is we have already discussed in the ASP application object, that content will contain all the items added to the session through the script command. And static object, it is all the objects added to the session with the help of object tag. Are few properties which we will discuss. So the first is code page. The code page property defines the code page that will be used to display the page content in the browser. The second is LCID property. It is also known as locate identifier property. It is used to set or get the local identifier of the page that is sent to the browser. For example, set or return an integer that specify a location or region contents like date of a region, time, currency that will be displayed according to the local location or the region. The third is session ID. Basically, this is a read-only property. It means you cannot modify this property. It is a read-only property which returns a unique ID for each new user. The unique ID is generated by the server. So the server is responsible for generating that unique ID. Each session has a unique identifier that is generated by the server when the session is created, and it is stored as a cookie on the client machine. The fourth is timeout. The timeout property set or return the timeout period for the session object in the application. If the user does not refresh or request the page within the timeout period, the session will be considered as ended. Now we will be discussing about the methods. Three methods are used here. First is abandon, which is used to destroy a user session. Second is content dot remove, which is used to remove a specific item, and content dot remove all, which is used to delete the all items from the content collection. Events are here: session on end and session on start. Session on end, it occurs when a session ends, and session on start, it occurs when a session starts. It's all about ASP session object. Now we will be discussing about ASP server object. Server object provide access to the properties and methods on the server. We will be discussing about the properties. The first is script time out. It is used to set or return the maximum number of seconds a script can run before it is being terminated. The script timeout property set or return the maximum amount of time that a script in the page can run before it is terminated, and by default the value is 90 seconds. Now we will be discussing about different methods. The first method is create object, which is used to create an instant of the object. They have the scope which is only up to the page. It means they have page scope. Second is execute, which is used to execute an ASP file from inside another ASP file. Third is get last error. It returns an ASP error object that describes the error condition that has been occurred. The fourth is HTML encode, which applies when HTML encoding is used for a specified string. Fifth is map path. It is used to map a specified path to a physical path mentioned. The map path method map a specified virtual or related path to a physical path on the server. Sixth is transfer. Transfer is used to send all the information created in one ASP file to another ASP file. The last is URL encode. It applies URL encoding rules to a specified string. All the characters that are not valid in a URL are converted to their equivalent HTML entity. Now we will be talking about ASP error object. The error object is used to display the detailed information of any error that occurs in the script in an ASP page. The error object is created when server.getLastError, which we have just discussed, is called. So the error information can only be accessed by using the server.getLastError method. In the server object, we have already studied server.getLast object. So the ASP error object is created only when the server.getLastError is called. Properties are: first is ASP code, which is used to return an error code which is generated by IIS. Second is ASP description, which is used to give a detailed description of the error. The third is category. It returns the source of the error. Fourth is column, it returns the column or the position within the file that has generated the error. It means it returns a specified position where error has been occurred. The fifth is description, which is used to return a short description about the error. File, which is used to return the name of ASP file that generated the error or the file in which the error has been occurred. Next is line, which is used to return the line number, the specified line number where the error has been detected. Next is number, which is used to return the standard COM error code for the error. Means it returns the error code. The next is source, which is used to return the actual source code of the line where the error has been occurred. That's all for the day. Thank you.